All right, former President Obama mocked fears over migrant caravans during a rally in Wisconsin on Friday. Watch.
They're trying to convince everybody to be afraid of a bunch of impoverished, malnourished refugees 1,000 miles away. That's the thing that is the most important thing in this election. Not health care, not whether or not folks are able to retire. Suddenly, it's this group of folks. We don't even know where they are. They're way down there. Don't fall for that kind of fear-mongering.
So why has the left become so against following our laws? Joining us now, retired U.S. Marine Corps bomb tech Joey Jones, who lost both of his legs in a bomb blast in Afghanistan. Joey, thanks for joining us this morning. So it does feel like it comes down to Donald Trump says, I want to enforce the rule of law. I think that's important to me. It's important to Americans. Citizenship is important. And President Obama mocks that idea.
Well, you know, the problem with illegal immigration has much less to do with the people in Mexico or Honduras as it does our ability to establish laws and follow them and know who's coming in our country and why. Listen, I have zero problems with people coming here for a better life. I grew up in a town that was 78% Hispanic within the city limits, and I learned to love those people as my fellow Dalton Georgians. But with that being said, what Democrats aren't truthful about is what living life in this country as an illegal or an illegitimate part of society is like. You get taken advantage of. You work harder for less money. You drive without license. You drive without learning to drive, so you do things like T-bone my sister and run away. There are a lot of problems with living in the shadows, and simply opening the border and turning a blind eye because it makes certain people feel better doesn't address those problems. The one thing politicians across the board do is you got to think for a minute, why fix something if you get elected telling people it's broken? You have little incentive. President Trump is actually fixing some of those things, and it scares politicians to death, and it takes away stumping issues that you don't ever intend to fix to begin with.
But Joey, if you're told that you're heartless, if you look at these images of migrants and you're not saying, welcome in, if you talk about a wall, if you talk about ending catch and release, if you talk about real amnesty, if you talk about criminals and threats to national security, you're heartless. Is it not, what about those American citizens that you alluded to who play by the rules and now see other people coming in through the back door?
Well, if you listen to President Obama's full comments, he talks about why are we concerned about that issue? Why aren't we concerned about, you know, things like people getting jobs or being able to retire? And it's very ironic coming from the president that put more money and more debt on the backs of future generations than all presidents before him combined. Likewise, sent more troops overseas than President Bush. And so when your policies don't match your rhetoric and you can't run for office anymore, I guess you can really say whatever you want, but it doesn't really amount to much, and the American people see that. That's why the polls are trending in the direction they are. What politicians, especially Republicans, do wrong, even President Trump, is we allow politicians as Americans to tell us why the immigration issue matters. And when we do that, they can interject things that aren't necessarily a part of it. You can care about border security and people being able to immigrate at the same time.
Sure.
It has nothing to do with disliking or devaluing people in other countries that want to come here. It has everything to do with setting them up for success and setting us up for success when they get here. That's not what we do. We ultimately take advantage of them. We're not doing them any favors by bringing them in and making them live in a way that we don't live.
Joey Jones, you may have been a Marine, but you're a smart dude. Thank you very much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Some days.
Thank you.